Cherie's World is brought to you by Less is More Events. Get Lime.
Nobody ever thought I was going to have a kid.
No. Steve Harvey met Cherie and said how to act like a lady and think like a man. Cherie is a dude that is a woman.
Yeah. I love that you say that because the guy who's coming on after you is the executive producer of Think Like a Man.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Right.
Well, there you go.
But you're right about that. I'm learning now. I'm like, yeah, she really has a lot of dude characteristics.
For real. And this is not like no new stuff that she evolved into. She always been like that.
Really?
Like, the game is so cold-blooded. Oh. Oh, somebody done got their feelings hurt, I see. I'm like, Cherie, you better stop. Somebody will try to kill you.
True. This is the Think Like a Man.
Rushion.
You gotta tell them you the real person.
You tell them.
Whoever that is, you are their book. You are that book.
Rushion McDonald. That's him.
Tell him you are the real person. For real.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Cherie's World Podcast. We got an exciting show for you today. We got an Emmy Award winner in the house. Courtney has booked Mr. Rushion McDonald. He is the spokesperson for The Perfect Bake Scale. He is also ESPN's Stephen A. Smith's business manager. Along with that, if that's not enough, he is the host of TV show Money Making Conversations. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Rushion McDonald.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Hello, 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 Cherie's World. Today we got an exciting show for you. My boy, Mr. Clayton Thomas, is in the house. He is an actor, a writer, a comedian. He has written on shows like Family Time, Modern Family, Wild and Out, Love That Girl. That's right. All that laughter was due to Mr. Clayton's writing himself. He is also a comedian and a director, and he is lighting the IG up with his comedy skits. Without further ado, let's welcome my boy, Mr. Clayton Thomas.
This is Cherie's World.
Making Memories Sale Series. It's a sale that allows families and people in our communities in any city, state, or showtime to attend a series of events at a lower price than most, such as like the Trolls Live, Disney on Ice, the Universal Soul Circus, concerts, sports, and more. Contact Less is More Events at 202-930-3533. Again, that's 202-930-3533. Visit the website, getlimetickets.com. They're on social media, Facebook, IG, Twitter. Less is More Events. Get out and lime. Hey, if you're listening to Cherie's World Podcast on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, please give us a 5-star. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review. I want to hear from you. Thank you.
Would you like to advertise on Cherie's World and have your product placed on Cherie's social media for the world to see? Email us now at cheriesworldpodcast@gmail.com for low introductory rates. Cherie's World Podcast. Get heard.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
I don't know if you heard Kelly. Kelly played Laura on Family Matters.
I definitely know her. Absolutely.
And that was Kelly that was on that said y'all made that movie Think Like a Man after me.
Mm-hmm. Why you say that?
She, you would have to ask her, but she says that I'm just a dude and I think like a man. I do. I grew up with 8 brothers, so.
I grew up with 6 sisters.
Oh. Did you?
Yes. So you got me by 2.
Wow. How did that impact the way that you feel about women?
Well, look, 4 of them are older than me. Okay, and so my, of course, my whole life is about respecting women. My whole approach, I always tell people ever since I was 18 years old, my passion has always been to help people. I just didn't really understand it until I got into my 40s that this was my gift. My gift was to uplift. My gift was to provide a talent that God gave me and share it. And I always tell people, if I give you an idea and you make $1 million with that idea, I'm fine with that, because that was an idea I was not going to use to make no money on, because it wasn't part of my gift process.
Wow. And when they came to you with the idea of executive producing it, what was your first thought?
Well, I think my first thought was anything. I'm a Black person. These opportunities are rare, and don't be nervous. Don't be afraid to look at the opportunity. When I look at my whole life, whether, in college, my degree is in mathematics. I worked at Yale. I'm one of the first people as a comedian to perform on cruise ships, Norwegian Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. A sitcom writer, Steve Harvey and I, when I started managing him in 2000. Daytime Talk, which was launched in 2012. It was said that Katie Couric, Jeff Probst, all these people were supposed to beat us because daytime was not ready for a Black man. And so that was a lie. When we did Think Like a Man, we weren't supposed to be number 1 at the box office. We did it twice. Family Feud, when we took over that, it was 1.5 in the ratings. It was supposed to be, usually when you give an opportunity to a Black person, usually they've looked everywhere else and failed, and they look at you now, okay? And we turned the show that had ratings of 1.5 after the first season. The ratings soared to 2.4, and now it's the highest rated game show in television today. And some cities plays it back to back to back to back, 2-hour blocks, and it penetrates 100% of the country. And then when you think like the book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, that book sold 3 million copies worldwide, generated over $60 million in book sales. It was translated in 30 languages.
Wow. So that was a no-brainer for you.
No, there's nothing's no-brainer. I think that a lot of times we think there's, the interesting thing about it, because we are not engaged in the process at such an early age. If you go to corporate opportunities, you see they'll bring their kids in. You go to sets, you see their kids show up, and so basically the kid feels like this is part of the process, and so we don't do that. We can't bring our kids if we're a forklift driver. We can't bring our kids, if we're doing manual labor and things like that. That's why it's important that we ascend beyond manual labor and start using brain labor. And then that makes a difference on how your kids approach what they can do in life.
Absolutely.
So let me this is story time with Courtney Rushion. In 2012, I'm in Chicago, and I go to a taping of the Steve Harvey Show.
Right.
And I tell my wife, I said, you see that guy walking out with that suit on right there? I said, I don't know who he is, but I guarantee you he's the most important person in here, not named Steve Harvey. And she says, why you say that? He ain't saying nothing. He just standing on the wall. And I said, pay attention during breaks. And then she said, you know what? Every time during breaks, Steve keeps walking to him, asking him what he thinks. And he's watching the camera. I said, he's important. I got home that night and I Googled who's behind Steve Harvey. And that's when I saw your face. And I've been a fan of yours since. And me and Junior are pretty cool. And so I always ask him questions about you and everything like that. So it was just an honor for me. Then when I met you at First Take, taping in Chicago. So it was like real dope to have you on. Do you have you and Cherie ever crossed paths? Because she's been on the Parkers, and I saw you produce a show on the Parkers.
I did the Parkers from 1998. Actually, I was co-executive producing the Jaime Foxx Show in 1998. I did the Parkers, I think, from 1999 to 2000.
Right.
Because I was starting to manage Steve Harvey because I was I launched him on a local radio station called WBA, what they called 92.3 The Beat. And we took that station, which was rated at the time 19 in the market, to #1 in 6 months. So when Cherie, we probably have seen each other on the set, you know, and I'm pretty sure her face looks very familiar. So that means, you know,
well, you did the Jaime Foxx Show, and we did Family Matters. We were neighbors.
Right. That's probably right. Because that was on Warner Brothers lot. And
yes.
And so, you know, the thing about it is that in this business, you know, I had an opportunity to, Steve Harvey gave my first break as a writer on ABC on Me and the Boys. Oh. And I had an opportunity to work for Robert Townsend, Arsenio Hall, Sisters, the twins, Tia and Tamara Mowry, Jaime Foxx, and Monique. Out of those two of them won Oscars. That was Jaime Foxx and Monique. And so I launched the careers of Kim Whitley, Gabrielle Union, just to name a few. Lala Anthony went on the radio at the Beat. So the Tari Turner, who has this very good movie. If you haven't seen it, it's called Uncork. That's on Netflix. It's an amazing movie. I've seen it twice. And so I just look at my legacy and I realize that I've done what I was supposed to do, what God has enabled me to do as a person who's willing to share my talents and also let people know that they can be great too.
Well, for me, radio is two people that made me want to do radio. Watching Martin on the Martin Show, he needs to be a radio guy. And then Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey actually used to do radio in Chicago before he came out to you guys. And I was never really with Tom Joyner because my mom, she listened to Tom Joyner. No disrespect.
Yes,
she
sir.
listens.
Yes, sir.
But so Steve Harvey was Def Jam. So I automatically started listening to the Steve Harvey Show. And then when y'all became syndicated, what was it like? Because it seems like it's a lot of Houston people on that show. Junior, Tommy, Carla, and then I see J. Anthony Brown. He's not from Houston, but did you like have a lot of input in putting all those
Absolutely. I'm from Houston, Texas. Born and raised in Houston, Texas. Born here, went to high school here, graduated from college, University of Houston, where I got my math degree, was done in Houston, Texas. Tommy's character, which we started in Los Angeles, was a character that I used to do on radio in Houston, Texas. And then Carla, she was a program director, a music director for a radio station that I used to be the sidekick on in Houston, Texas. And so in 2005, when we got an opportunity to do syndication after we left our contract with 92.3 The Beat, and didn't have another contract, by the way, we just went out on faith and planning that this was going to be a bigger opportunity because I always felt that Steve was bigger than LA. I always felt that his brand spoke to more people than just one market, and which I believe proved to be true. And so Carla came on board as my music director, and I eventually moved as an on-air talent. And Tommy came on as his play nephew, and we played off that he was his real nephew for comedy effects. But we all know now that nephew Tommy and Steve Harvey are not related.
I didn't know that until you just said it. I didn't know that.
That was the whole premise. That was the whole premise of how we did the show. You know, was to, you know, have a kid that was uncontrollable that Steve had to answer to, but knew he couldn't fire him. So you know the whole thing. You hire family, you cry with family. Okay, and that was the whole premise of the character. He was stupid, but you can't fire him because guess what? You got to call mama. You call mama, that's a different conversation.
Man. So when did you? Because you guys did the Hoodie Awards.
Yes.
And so you guys were like on top, and then he had the opportunity to go to LA for do the show, and then that's when you stopped managing them, right?
Well, I stopped managing Steve Harvey in 2016 because of the fact that I wanted to define my legacy. You know, I looked up and realized that Steve Harvey had a career. Mm-hmm. I didn't. I built a brand where he was a host of Miss Universe. He was hosting Little Big Shots. He had a talk show, a syndicated radio show. He had Family Feud syndicated, Family Feud celebrity version, Showtime at the Apollo, and Rushion McDonald was sitting back there collecting one check. And so I felt that I wanted to talk about some things. And that's why, and believe me, when I left my relationship with Steve Harvey, I didn't really have a plan. I just knew that I had to make a plan and figure this out. And so I left with a lot of celebrity status tied to him, but it was not tied to me. And so my platform of Money Making Conversations, which is about entrepreneurship and entertainment, allows me to grow my brand, and has allowed me to grow my brand, and also to establish the voice of who I am and what I actually represent as knowledge and information that I give away for free on my podcast and on my YouTube channel to individuals. And I just been amazed at the amount of celebrities and people I don't know and did know and do know have done my show and are continually doing the show. It's pretty crazy.
Can you tell people how to find your show, just in case they?
Oh, absolutely. You know, if you got a YouTube, I think everybody has YouTube. Just type in Money Making Conversations with an S, and it'll pop up. I have 31,000. I started my YouTube channel in January. I currently have 31,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I have my social media. I have almost 800,000 Facebook followers at Rushion McDonald. I have a fan club with almost 90,000. Well, it's over 90,000 fan club followers. I have a newsletter that goes out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. And then I also have moneymakingconversations.com, where you can listen to all the YouTube interviews that are tied to Money Making Conversations, as well as my podcast, which is tied to iHeartRadio. So there are a lot of, usually, if you just Google my name, a lot of activity pops up, and it's usually tied to success, because in doing your show, when the opportunity to do my show, I wanted to do your show because of the fact that I knew of my relationship with you. It's not necessarily that we sat down and we ate some chicken together. It's just that I knew of your relationship and I knew what you were trying to do. And so, you know, I can sit on my front porch and tell people and also share advice about, I'm just a regular guy, you know, that works very hard. I work very, very hard. And I get up every day at 4 a.m. to prepare for my success. And usually I go to bed about 11:30 midnight every night. And I'm comfortable with that schedule because I'm living my life. And I don't need sleep because I actually go to sleep to get up. And a lot of people don't understand when I say that, is that if you go to sleep with a plan to get up, then it's easy to get up. You won't hit the snooze button.
Yep.
But if you go to sleep and you don't know why you're getting up, then it's going to be a battle.
Yeah.
If you're getting up at a job you don't want, that's a battle. You getting up with dealing with kids you don't want to deal with, that's a battle. If you're sleeping in bed with somebody you don't want to be sleeping with, that's a battle. So I have removed all the battles out of my life. I don't have battles when I get up because I have goals in place. Now, am I happy when I get up? No, nobody's happy getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Nobody. But I have plans that I have to deal with, and I have success stories that I have to write. And that's my goals.
I have questions for you. Money making conversations are conversations that I need to have because I got a kid who told me she's in medical school. So I need to make some more money.
Absolutely.
But before I get to that, I got to get to the economy.
Right.
Were you managing Steve Harvey in 2017 when he went to see Trump?
No, it was not.
I didn't think so.
No.
I'm just going to leave it like that. So the economy, what is your take on the economy now? And if you were going to tell someone to invest in something, what would you tell them?
Let's talk about the economy in general.
Okay.
Because lately I've become a pandemic expert because people, you know, I've talked about money making conversations. People come to me, and I am in favor of the country reopening. I think it has to reopen. But the problem I'm not happy about is the misinformation. You know, Georgia was the first state to reopen. The first state to reopen, but they did not let everybody know that 80% of the COVID-19 cases that were going into hospital were African Americans. The country didn't let you know that 7 out of 10 people in New Orleans that were affected were African Americans with COVID-19. They didn't tell you the number was 43% in Chicago, 33% in Detroit, 23% in Milwaukee. They didn't tell you that nearly 25% of the people who died from COVID-19 in that national number are African Americans. That's not fair. See, that's not fair. And so what is happening now is that we've reopened in the country and it's being staggered open because of the fact that we're fighting a political war. We're fighting a political war because a person wants to get reelected.
Yes.
And they're going to treat this like it's the flu. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. And he's playing on the worst fears of people. You play food on your table. Food on your table. And then you go, okay, well, I'm not sick. Let's go back to work. I wear a mask when I go out in the streets every time. I got hand sanitizer. Your boy kidded up. You come near me, we're gonna do it like, why are you coming that close? Because the CDC means something to me. The CDC has told me how to live my life. I plan on living my life as long as I can. Rushion McDonald bought all his employees masks that were washable. So we got to talk about the economy, about how you have to live your life in the new normal before you start talking about how to make money. Right. So let's go to what's happening let's go to the core group, beauty and barber salons. Okay. Nobody had planned on hand sanitizers being part of their budget. Nobody had planned on facial masks being part of their budget. Nobody had planned on every other chair being empty. Boom. Now let's go to restaurants. Nobody had planned on saying, hey, you can only run a 25% occupancy of your restaurant. Now you're also dealing with the fact that Black people know they are high risk. So they really don't want to go out.
Right.
And so with that being said, when you see these national news conferences, nobody tells you these numbers. And they start shifting the dynamics. Over 22,000 people have died from senior citizen homes. They don't talk about that no more. See, as the narrative gets boring or you become desensitized to it, they move on. There are still people dying in these senior citizen homes. It's just wrapped in that big number.
Yep.
And so what America's doing a disservice to is giving us information that we can actually live with. I tell everybody, if at the very beginning, if they'd have said, wear a mask, and we're going to give everybody in this country a mask, we're going to give everybody in this country hand sanitizer, they wouldn't be doing a PPP program. They would be doing a CARE program, a HEROES program, or a $1 trillion bailout program, because they would have told the truth. A problem is coming. This is how we deal with it. So but what they've done is they've scared people because they don't have food on their table. They can't pay their rent. Their car notes are behind. And now people out there battling and saying, hey, I need to work, despite the consequences of the health issues that you might bring back to the office or bring back to your home. That's what money-making conversations now is in today's society. It's a political conversation. And it's being played out every day in each state differently.
Now, when you talk about the stimulus checks, right, as fast as they rolled out those stimulus checks, it kind of made me think that they could have gave us reparation a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. Okay? These checks were not for us. Okay, understand that now. These checks were not for us. These checks were the general public. Now, what makes me mad when I'm watching TV and then a reality star who happens to be Black has conned the government out of a $2 million PPP check.
What?
And he's used that check to buy rings, buy a house from Love and Hip Hop, one of the stars of Love and Hip Hop. Yeah. Got a $2 million check from the payroll protection program, and he's buying a house with it, paying child support payments, and buying diamond rings and watches.
What am I doing wrong?
Huh?
What am I doing wrong? Because I didn't get no.
Well, you didn't fill out the paperwork like he filled it out. See,
that's true.
You always know that. You don't know what people who do wrong move way faster than people do right. See, people do right trying to get the paperwork right. He just shoves the paper in and hit the lotto and then went stupid. That's why people in jail. People in jail are in jail because they move faster, or they think they move faster. So they think instead of depositing money in the bank, I'm gonna rob money out the bank and get it faster.
Man, I
instead of buying drugs, I'm gonna sell drugs on the corner. That is the problem with our system, is that we are surrounded by people who feel they are smarter than us, and we just watch it on television every day, and it's crazy. This really is a crazy society. And that's why I don't mind talking about it, because people need to hear the truth. And the truth is tied to numbers.
You said he filled out his paperwork correctly.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
over here like, I'm so stupid. I ain't even fill out no paperwork. What
There you go.
paperwork was I?
Because you were being honest. You were worried about going to jail. You was worried about, if I feel the paperwork wrong, they're going to come get me. He didn't have those concerns. And they're coming to get him anyway.
$2 million.
$2 million.
I was just surprised when I looked and I saw a deposit was made in my bank account. And I was like, what did I do good?
That's right. You did it right. But it was a small one, though, because my deposit was very small, too.
Mine was very small.
I'm going to tell you something. I got my PPP check, and it was a blessing. But it hurt me to say I did all this work, and this is all I got. Yeah. And then I turned on the TV, and this fool got $2 million, and he's spending it on child support payments, diamond rings, and watch.
I didn't even know anybody got $2 million, so I'm over here dumb and devastated right now.
The interesting thing about it is that first round, a lot of big checks got paid out. See, and the second round, the average payout is $79,000. Mm. The average payout in the second round of the PPP program, PPP2, is $79,000. Understanding your boy is way below that $79,000. So I'm pulling that average down. I am definitely not pulling that average up.
I didn't even know people got $79,000. I need to have a real money-making conversation with you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. That's why my show popular,
Yes.
I'm going to tell y'all something interesting here. People say, what drove states opening? Why do states want to open? Because when Georgia shut down, they decided we're going to reopen. They're going to reopen. The average visitor jumped to 62,000 people per day.
Wow.
When they reopened, the average visitor jumped to 62,000 per day. And those visitors came from the following states. 92% of them came from South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida. 92% of them. So when everybody gets numbers. So when they start seeing those numbers and start seeing that money leave their state, they go, hold up. We need to open up.
Yeah.
And if you really look at the situation about all this overcrowded and beaches overrun, I bet you if you start pulling driver's license, you'll see they from out of state.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That is really scary.
That's a money-making conversation. I thought that's why you had me on the show, Sherry.
Well, you know what, Rushion? The reason why I wanted you on the show is this. I've been around the entertainment business for a long time.
Sir.
For a while. And I never was the type of person that wanted to be in front of the camera. Never wanted to be. I just always I like helping and building something dope, and I never get credit for nothing either. But I never looked at it in a positive light the way you just said it,
Right.
But here I am. I got a great chance working with Cherie, who I've been a fan of forever, had a crush on growing up as well. And I just wanted to give me some advice, man. What can I do to help continue building this brand? She's going back to doing Punky pretty soon, and I just want to help build this brand, man. And that's why I want to have people like you on, and get her on your show later on. I just want to.
Oh, absolutely. Let me just be honest with you. I get that question a lot. It's consistency, and you have to be true to your plan. First of all, you're a good-looking guy. Let's go and put your assets out there. Okay, you're a good-looking guy. Yep, you have a strong professional voice. Okay, that demands attention. Okay, you have a co-host who's a celebrity. Okay, so that's a platform that everybody doesn't get. Okay,
right.
Let's go and be honest.
Yeah,
I didn't come on this show to talk to you.
I know.
I come on the show to talk to CJ.
I know.
Okay, you are a bonus. You're a bonus.
Trust me.
And so, in the process of being a bonus, I'm learning some things about I'm excited about doing the show because in life, man, what I've learned is that I don't even know who I am till people start telling me what I've accomplished.
Wow, your resume speaks for itself, sir.
It does. Because I am the worst person. Sherry, when I accomplish something, I move on. I don't click champagne glasses. It was like
I understand.
I was the CMO for the Air National Guard, which I did live events in 50 states. I controlled this black man for Air National Guard, a division of the military, branch of the military, Air National Guard. And I controlled all of the website design, all social media posts, all commercial buys, which were almost $28 million. I okayed all that. All the commercial productions, all that stuff was approved by me. This month, one of my activations, I went to New York City and took over the entire Penn Station with an Air National Guard activation. And I was just honored with what they call a Reggie, which is the award for the best activation in the country for 2019.
Wow.
Those are the things I've accomplished in my life because of the fact that I don't sit back on my laurels.
Right.
And so when he asked me the question, what can he do? I'm telling you, you got to get up at the same time every day. Pick one day where you can rest, okay? Because God rested on one day, okay? So I'm not expecting you to do this 7 days a week. But what happens with consistency, it starts you to challenge your dreams and challenge the people around you. Believe me, my wife doesn't even adhere to my schedule. I get up, she ain't thinking about moving, okay? She gets up when she feels like it, okay? And so also your social media should start playing a role on developing or shaping who you are. Your social media should not be personal posts. Social media should be about the brand that you're trying to build. It always, if you're going to post anything motivational, have that be an original thought from you. Don't post nobody else's thoughts on your social media. Use your own personal creativity, your own developed motivation to guide other people down that path. That way, when you talk to them, it's all good. Yeah. And so, with that being said, now you have Cherie. So she's enabled you to be exposed to a larger footprint.
Right.
Well, he enabled me because I never thought about doing the podcast.
I got all that, TJ. I got all that.
Say that, of course.
Steve Harvey is why I'm sitting on this call. Okay, Stephen A. Smith is why I'm sitting on this call. They just have trusted me enough to say, you got the gifts to do it. So I'm asking him and reminding him of his responsibilities. He got the hook in the water. Now he got to keep fishing. You're the fish that he keep bobbing out there to catch bigger fish. Yeah. He's the producer. He's the executor. He's the man behind the man. But what I'm asking him to do, what I didn't do, is to be able to build his brand as he builds your brand. I didn't do that. That was a mistake.
Don't lose yourself.
Okay. There you go.
I tell him that all the time. With Stephen A. Smith, that's a big personality on a little man.
Absolutely.
He's a lot like me.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to tell you something about Steve Harvey. Two of the smartest people I know. They work equally as hard as I work. I don't have to shake them to get out of bed. Oh, they'll complain, but the complaint is never about how hard they have to work. Okay? Because everybody has a right to say something negative, but as long as that negative doesn't get in the way of the effort, then we good.
That's right.
Stephen A. is the most engaged sports media talent on social media. He drops a video like a singer. 100,000 views, 300,000. I've never seen anything like that in my life. Right. I've never seen that. It's no one in the entertainment business that's not a singer that can do what he does.
That's true.
When it comes to social media, I've never seen anything like that. I feel fortunate that he trusts me. In fact, I can make this announcement now. We're executive producing a recap that's going to be on ABC starting Tuesday. It's going to be Last Dance after the dance.
Oh.
He'll be hosting it starting Tuesday on ABC, and then it's going to move to Saturday. That's something nobody knew, so I'm making that announcement on the CJ Show.
Thank you. That's incredible. I'm actually a big Stephen A. Smith fan. I did a show with Penny Hardaway and Charles Oakley called The Bottom Line Sports Show for a while, and I actually studied Stephen to prepare myself to do the show.
Yeah, he's a gifted person, a hardworking person. My whole thing with you, Cherie, is that you just have to admit your gifts. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you are a star, and you have to say you are a star, because you know you can go to the grocery store, people go, I go to the grocery store, they just walk past me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a responsibility that comes with that. And this is something I waited late in the game. You know, all my life I was saying things like right place, right time, you know, it's a blessing. You know, I'm just lucky, you know, people look out for me. So what I was doing was denying my gifts, denying that all these things happen due to hard work. All these things was happening tied to my faith. All these things were happening because people trusted what I said. My word meant something. Same thing with you. You have to go ahead and accept the responsibility. They're not bringing you back on that show because they like you. You're an asset. And you have to admit to these assets, but what comes with that responsibility, once you acknowledge that these gifts are real, then the responsibility comes in maintaining it. And that's when he comes in. Wow. He's the maintainer.
You know, I think for me, one of the reasons why I never wanted to be famous. I never wanted to be on TV.
I hear you.
I was a kid when I made this crazy
You can always quit being famous. You know that, right?
When? How?
You just stop. Just don't go to that TV show no more.
I got to pay.
Turn off this. Just stop this video right now. Just stop. Just stop.
I don't know what else I would do. I'm not qualified.
There you go. There you go. See, God has told you what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you just admitted in public. What else I'm gonna do?
What else I'm gonna do?
Give me these gifts. I exercise these gifts. So I'm just asking you to be responsible to them and accept.
That's major. You know, I'm gonna have to have a real conversation with myself when we get off here, because I grew up thinking that one day I was gonna be an architect, right? So acting was kind of my cop out, because I had done Punky, I had done Family Matters, and then it was like, do you keep working or do you go to college? I tried to go to college. I just am not the school kind of girl. It just was not working for me. I was asleep because I was taking night classes because we were doing Family Matters. And then I went for 1 year without a job. And my next job that I got was on the Parkers.
Right. My degree, did you hear me earlier? I said my degree is in mathematics.
Yes.
I tell you, I worked for IBM for 5 years, 2.5 undergrad, 2.5 professional full-time. So we all have journeys that people say you're supposed to do. You know, I was supposed to stop right there. Just go to college, because that I'd accomplished what people said I was supposed to do when I was in high school. They told me, go to college, get your job. I had the best job in the world, IBM. All I had to do was find a wife and just start dropping kids. That's all I had to do, according to the model.
Right.
You are not a model.
Mm-mm.
You're a game changer. And when you have people with game-changing talent, there's a responsibility that comes with that. And what you have to do is you have to surround yourself with a support group that believes in you and helps you drive when the downtime is down, because we're all going to have downtime. And it allows you to accept the responsibility when it's up. Be prepared, because when you need somebody to fall on, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
That's all it is. You know, it'll be sorry of me and pathetic of me if I came on this show knowing how many talented people I work with and say, oh, it's all right, you know, just do what you're gonna do. No. You have a window, and we all have a window. 65 means nothing to me. 75 means nothing to me. I tell people, stop using this age as an excuse of reaching your dreams. And so you can do whatever you want. I just believe that in your life, you just have not had the support system around you to tell you that you're great and to help you to stay great and become greater. That's all.
Thank you.
That's what I specialize in. I make people great. I make people money. That's what I do. Money make conversation.
Yes, you do.
Money make conversation.
Can you help us make some money, sir? Because like I said, my daughter has already said she's going to Baylor. She's going to work at Baylor Scott White. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to have to pay for medical school.
Well, you know, she has a responsibility too. How old is your daughter?
5.
Okay, that means that academics should be strong in her life.
She is going into the 4th grade. She reads at a 4th grade level at 5 years old.
There you go. So, you know, see, the future's already set. You just got a whole course with her. You know what I'm saying? And then allow her to still have a life because she's going to be younger than her age group. Okay.
Yes.
So you have to put the right support system around her. So as she ascends, as she gets older, that she doesn't feel out of place and she doesn't develop any complexes, mental issues, because of the fact that she's talking to people several years older than her.
Yes, she is a black belt in Taekwondo. She's working on her second black belt, and she's in class with 10-year-olds, which is her peers when it comes to her age group in school.
Right.
You know, but they're so much more mature than her. They carry her and cover her like she's their baby.
Right. Which is all good.
Yes, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the group of kids who have basically adopted her and taken her on.
Absolutely. And
she's doing Taekwondo in case anybody gets too smart. She can kick them in the neck.
Absolutely. You know, anything that makes me run from this conversation.
Hey, you're in great shape, Rushion, but you cook desserts all day. And I've been on this quarantine with my wife and my mother-in-law, and they've been making these desserts, and I just hey, it's been 8 weeks in the house eating banana pudding, and how you do it, man?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. The quarantine, because you know, I was when I stopped managing Steve Harvey in 2016, I was like 220 pounds.
Okay.
Now I weigh 185. I weigh 185. Wow. And so, and that lets you know that I wasn't happy with my life. I was just living my life. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, and not to say that anything that was happening to me was negative. It's just that, you know, when you just living day to day and be irresponsible about what you're supposed to do. Well, I got down to 195. And then during the quarantine, I got on the scale, I was at 200 because I had changed my eating habits. I was suddenly eating breakfast, I was eating lunch, and I was eating dinner. Yeah. And I don't eat like that. Mm-hmm. I'm a 2 meal a day guy. Suddenly I was eating 3 meals a day. And I was like, whoa, because I love eating. Now, if you follow me on my Facebook, you'll see some food. Yeah. And your boy eats. I remember it was 3 Sundays in a row, I was posting where I was eating these big bowls of ice cream. Just let everybody know this is what I do. You know, don't be mad at me. But I will answer your question. I drink a lot of water. Okay. Mm-hmm. I drink a tremendous amount of water. Now, Chick-fil-A has this incredible lemonade. Oh. Now, I will go in there and grab me some lemonade and drink it like it's water. Of course, you just drinking sugar then. Just drinking sugar. And so, but water is the reason I am able to maintain my physique, as they say, because I eat. But the pandemic fattened your boy up, and I had to cut one of those meals down. And so, because I was eating like 2 eggs for breakfast with a pan sausage and 3 slices of bacon, toast, and some grits. I'm from the South. Your boy eat grits, okay?
Me too.
And then the next day, I bust open 5 those little cans of biscuits that come 5 in the can. Same. I wasn't sharing. I got all 5 of those.
Me too.
Make some syrup, me some scrambled eggs with cheese, and me some good old andouille sausage that's been boiled, and then fry that bad boy. When you split it down the middle, that was my breakfast on a regular basis, and I got up to 200 pounds. So now, you know, I get my Raisin Brands in the morning. I went and bought my nuts, you know what I'm saying? Got me some tortilla chips with me some piccata sauce, baked potatoes. See, I've calmed down. So now I'm back down to 185. Okay. But what you will not do to me, sir, is stop me from eating my desserts. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I'm eating my desserts.
I'm noticing that because, like, you cooking these desserts. I remember Steve used to give you a lot of crap about it, you know, make funny. But
he called me an old white lady.
Yeah, Betty Crocker. And so my thing is, like, I've been at home and I'm making pancakes every morning for my wife and kids, and they love it. Yes. I got the Cracker Barrel mix, and I'm making it, and they love it.
Oh, the Cracker Barrel. You got the Cracker Barrel mix?
Yeah, I got the Cracker Barrel.
The pecan pancakes.
Now they like original.
Oh, brother. See, Cracker Barrel, the pecan pancakes. I'm done. That's my two. Cause I got that too. See, what you ain't gonna do is out food conversation me on your show.
The perfect food scale, the perfect bake scale. Tell me about this bake scale.
That came about was that when I was executive producing the Steve Harvey Show in Chicago. I used to post pictures of me baking. I would post them, and they would just go viral, And this company out of Washington, uh, Portland, right outside of Portland, Washington, took notice of that, and they contacted me, and they said, "Well, we got this scale, no measuring cups, no measuring spoons. Would you like to be a participant in it? We'd like to come down and show you the product." And so they came down, and I said, "Look, I like it, but can I change some of your menus?" I said, "Can I?" Because see, what bothers me about cookbooks is that they say the word eggs, but there are different types of eggs. There are large eggs and jumbo eggs, and they make a difference in the menu. I said, "Can I just really start breaking down? And can I also tell people exactly what type of sugar I use, Domino sugar? Can I tell them what type of flour? So when they look at my recipe, they can kind of get a sense of what to buy when they go in the grocery store." And so they said they were cool with that, and it became a phenomenon for me. I'm a percentage owner in the company, and that's the only thing I used to bake with. I baked for my staff, and last fall I Kelly Clarkson. I did a lot of my staff from the Steve Harvey Show are now on the Kelly Clarkson Show, and so last Thanksgiving I did a big old spread for them, and Kelly Clarkson, she didn't know I was doing it. And so her husband that came by along with her assistant said, somebody told him that guy over there made it. And they said, "Who is he? Does he work for us?" They said, "No, he just loves us, and he said he's gonna do it." And so Kelly Clarkson came over there. She said, "Did you really do this for my staff?" I go, "Yeah," because that's how I am. That's a part of who I am. I rented a hotel in Beverly Hills for 2 days. They had a kitchen as kitchen, oven and microwave and refrigerators. I had to rent 2 hotel rooms because I needed 2 stoves. And so I was running in between connecting hotel rooms and made 3 turkeys, 18 desserts, sweet potatoes, baked potato salad, green pea and onion salad, cornbread, and
amazing.
Yeah. So the people in Beverly Hills hadn't seen anything like that in their life.
Yeah, because they eat salad.
Yeah. But that's my life, though. That's who I am now. I'm gonna go when I end this call. I'm gonna go inside, watch Netflix. I'm gonna watch a couple of shows, and I'm gonna get up the next day and find out whose life I can make better. That's my mission. My mission is hopefully if one person is inspired by this call that we're having tonight, then I've accomplished my task. I like to believe that I've inspired one person on this call tonight, and then that person over here will help you sustain greatness, and then you'll help him reach his dream. Because it's a joint effort.
Absolutely.
It's a joint effort. And when he saw me on the set of the Steve Harvey Show, what he saw was a guy who was not seeking attention.
No, he wasn't.
Just respect. That's all I was seeking, respect.
That's right.
Yeah. That's beautiful. You're from Houston, so I got to bring it back to Houston because I have a love affair with Houston.
Really?
Yes, I used to own a restaurant shortly in Houston.
Where?
Right off of Bissonnette in the Beltway in the hood, across the street from the Popeyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, I know it's on the Southwest Freeway. I know exactly. What's the name of the restaurant?
It was called That's It. And unfortunately, I didn't have the right partnership. And when I left, I had to come back to California to go to work. So it didn't stay open very long after.
When was that open?
Oh, was it 2010 or 2011?
Yeah, I know that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. It's a soul food spot.
Yes.
Nini's Fried Chicken.
You know something? I didn't know you owned it, but I've ordered food from there.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know you owned it, because I like good food.
I did. How did you?
I know exactly where. That's on the Southwest Freeway.
Yes.
Yeah, you was in the hood, girl. You was in a lot of hoods. You was in Chinatown. You was in Mexican Town. You was in Black Town. You had all kinds of things running around you.
I was. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved the people. And I loved being there. So that's probably one of my dreams, to come back one day and do it again when I retire and I don't have to leave and go to work. But I wanted to ask you about Fifth Ward. The gentrification down there in Fifth Ward is something serious.
Well, Fifth Ward is where I was born. I was born in a 2-bedroom shotgun house.
Really?
I would tell people, like, what's a shotgun? That means you open the front door, shoot the gun out the back door, don't hit nothing.
Yeah.
So, um, and so my father was a truck driver, third grade education. My mom, high school graduate, you know. And when I look at an area like that, because my house is still there. The house I was born in is still there, 3815 Bain Street. That's the house I was born in. And on the corner of Russell and Bain. And yes, they put a freeway at the end of the street.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets you know they don't put freeways up unless they try to bring somebody in or
Right.
get out fast.
Right.
So that means that the whole community changes. That means that taxes go up. People who are living there have to move out. That's why you always notice that whenever they change a neighborhood, the homeless people are the first people to go, because they're the people who ain't paying taxes. So they're gonna first get the people who ain't paying taxes out first. Then they're gonna get the people who kind of paying taxes. They're gonna get them out next, and then they're gonna move into people who can't pay taxes. And then you go, where do those people go? Nobody knows. They're just a disappearing group of people that are disenfranchised because they can't afford taxes.
Absolutely. We have a brother that was on the show. His name is Christopher Senegal, and he's actually been spending his time in Fifth Ward buying blocks.
Yeah. You know, the way it works is you buy a block and then at that low tax rate. And what they'll do is they'll cut you a deal because the cities in general, their job is to make money. And the only way they're going to make money is by increasing the value of the property. And by increasing the value of the property, you take those taxes and you can pay for better schools. And so know that there's a underlying message to you got to stay in the lane of the get and not in the lane of I ain't got it. If you stay in the lane of the get, you're accepting of what's going on. But because of the minorities or people of color generally are in the lane of I don't have it, then they suffer the consequences of that. And so, but that's how it works. You know, you can go in and tell people, hey man, I'm trying to buy this block. You're gonna get it at a low price, and then you're gonna go start knocking on doors. I need you to move. I need you to move, or I'm not gonna pay any rent. You can't pay rent anymore. I'm gonna stop. You gotta move. You got 30 days. And so he's doing exactly what other people are doing in the community. You got to move these people out. They're gonna tear down those houses. They're gonna put up townhomes or patio homes. They'll be like four times the value of the property that you tore down. Then they're gonna have property value taxes that they can charge, and everybody's happy.
To build those comps up. So do you feel like this is a year to invest in real estate, or would
I'm gonna tell you something, it's a year to invest in the stock market
mm-hmm.
because it's low. Now we all know it's not gonna stay low.
No.
So it's a year to invest now. If you can invest now, you should invest. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the part of the structure that's gonna hurt the most is gonna be real estate. Office real estate is going to suffer.
Yeah.
Because when you hear a company like Twitter make the announcement that stay home, you don't have to come to work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My staff, you know, they've been working from home ever since the pandemic hit. The announcement to stay at home. And so we do meetings at morning and afternoon. So I still want to buy a building in Atlanta. That's where I'm based at. I still have a home in Houston, Texas as well. And so, but guess what? They're going to have to give me a pandemic price.
Mm.
Because office spaces, okay, so here's the vicious cycle of how this works. So if people stop coming to work, well, you have businesses that have been designed to cater to people who come to work.
Right.
And so those businesses close and they start shuttering. And so the deal is that what we're looking at is a society that, yes, you can go back to work, but who are you and what are you going back to work to? Because the jobs that you once had don't exist anymore. Companies like Sears, J. Crew, closed. Golden Corral, buffets can't even open back up now.
Oh.
You know, and so Golden Corral, my shop now. That's my place there. Go to Shea, that's my place too. Go in there, get the Brazilian steakhouses. I love those places.
Yeah, I do.
And so they can't even reopen. So there are businesses out there that people don't tell you. Everybody keeps talking about restaurants reopen. Buffets are not reopening.
Not at all.
They can't. That makes so much sense. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else that you want Cherry's World to know before we have to let you go?
No, I'm good. Know that I came on because I was excited to talk to you and found another somebody I'm mentoring, which is great. I always know that to get in touch with my contact people, they tell them, ask them for my cell number. I have no problem communicating with you as a friend, as a person of, man, one of these days I am going to be called off this earth. And I want to make sure that I've been drained. I want to make sure that I've told enough people how great they can be and show them how they can be great.
That's sweet.
That in the end, I'm cool because this body gonna be well fed. This brain gonna be empty. So when I go, I'm be all good.
That is very sweet and very giving, especially from Hollywood, because everybody in Hollywood, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't like this man.
That's like, but guess what? I'm living in Atlanta. I'm living in Houston. I've learned that, there's a struggle we all have to deal with, people. In 2015, I was announced that I had cancer. And I don't care who you are, when they say the word cancer to you, it turns out the lights. You really do, because you don't worry about, you don't hear about cancer survivors. They just told you you got an illness or disease that kills people rapidly and on a regular basis. And I had already lost a sister to cancer. And so I sat there in that chair and I didn't tell my family for a few days because I was just taking it all in. And I'm gonna just tell you guys this, is that I wanted to make sure, where was I in my life? If this was it, had I done everything that I could do with my life, and I was cool. And so I was cool. And I just say that to say this to anybody. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of opportunity. You can't be afraid of change. And you can't allow fear of change to stop you from reaching your greatness or seeking a new opportunity. Because new opportunities is what makes people successful and give you an opportunity to change your life. That's all.
Wow.
One last question though, Cherie. How do you think this COVID-19 is going to affect Hollywood in general, as far as filming and recording and entertainment? Like how do you think it's going to affect it?
Here's the deal. I think let's go deeper than that. How is COVID-19 going to affect dating? Because that's even a bigger issue. I think how we're going to socialize in the new dating world, because there's no vaccine, and so Hollywood is going to have like for instance, unless you're somebody like who's always a visionary, Tyler Perry. He bought his new studio, which was an old military base. It had barracks. He refitted the barracks. It has a cafeteria. So he's going to start up his production and bring everybody on the base. Everybody's going to get tested, and they cannot leave until the taping's over with.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I have a question. Does that mean staff, as far as like everybody, like the crew, everybody who's cooking, transportation, is that everybody has to stay there?
I think that only with the acting professionals and the crew, okay? Because of the fact that, like I told you, I got my facial mask, I got my rubber gloves, I got my hand sanitizer. And then you have shields to keep you six feet apart. And so it has been proven that if you follow the directions of the CDC, infection can be reduced. And so I just know a person like Tyler Perry has a clear understanding that everybody who comes on the set is probably going to sign a release form. Mm-hmm. Because the biggest problem in Hollywood is not Hollywood starting back up. It's companies that want to insure them.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We've been pushed back too. And one of the calls that we got from producers from Soleil and I is, do you have passports? Mm-hmm. And will you relocate?
Right.
And so we're like, what is that? Soleil and I have both been in the house since March 8th. We ain't left. We ain't let our kids leave. Like we've been in our little compounds.
Right. Yeah. You've hunkered down like you're supposed to.
Yeah, we did what we were supposed to.
Okay. Look, the thing about it, everything you said that you're doing, it should be adhered to by everybody who's listening to this call. And what I don't want people to do is go out there and feel be embarrassed or be bullied into not conforming to what the CDC is saying you're supposed to do, especially if you're an African American.
Absolutely. With pre-existing conditions.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that we have to understand that I'm a cancer survivor. I just need to live my life right. Now, we just know that you can get on a plane. I'm gonna drive to Houston. Okay, my wife, she's driving to Houston. Okay, and so because why should I get on a plane and risk somebody sitting next to me infection, recirculating air, and things like that. And so I just feel that we just need to understand that do not allow other people to bully your ability to stay healthy.
That's a beautiful ending, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Hey.
We'll talk for an hour. Well, 55 minutes because I was confused in the beginning.
This has been an honor, sir.
Number, okay, so we can talk. The mentorship starts tomorrow.
Okay. Oh my God, I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you for being open. Thank you to everybody who you mentor.
I appreciate y'all. Stay healthy and stay safe. Bye.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
That was dope. That was dope.
You go, Courtney. That's all you, boo.
Nah, man. You heard what he said? He said, I didn't come over here to talk to you. That's real. You know, because I showed you the tweet. I mean, the DM. So that's real. And I'm glad he said it because it's real. Yeah. You are a star. Everybody comes on here says it, Jerry. You are a star.
Did you see how Kelly looked at me when I said, hey, Kelly, you know you famous? Like I was stupid, right? Like that's just so weird. My mom told me 39 years ago now, the only stars in this world are in the sky. Right. Stars are untouchable and your little black ass can be touched. So
yeah. I don't know. I feel much smarter now after talking to somebody like him.
He was very nice.
Welcome to Cherie's World.
Brought to you by Less is More Events. Get Lime.